Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here. Today we have a Smogon tournament game for the semifinals of Smogon World Cup. Pokeaim obviously, and I'm playing EO from South. I'm playing for Northeast. And this is my first game in this tournament because I was originally supposed to start. However, with the qualifying rounds being when, what happened with Carlos happened, I asked to step down. So I'm playing my first game in semifinals now. And this team that I'm using was inspired by me playing DVP. So basically, I was playing some DVP OU, and we saw. Oh, I was using Choice Band Dragonite. I was like, holy crap, this melon's fire. So I started running some calcs for Gen 8, and obviously, I was thinking about trends and stuff like Weavile and Galarian Slowking and stuff like that too. And I noticed that Choice Band Dragonite's Earthquake obviously OHKO's Galarian Slowking, whereas regular Earthquake doesn't. And this is pretty important because Slowking can sometimes Sludge Bomb Fish or go for Ice Beam. Also, Dual Wing Beat 2 AKOs Unaware Clefable, and they run heavy duty boots usually, so that's pretty cool. You do like 49% minimum, so you'll be able to break through them. And then Extreme Speed Calcs versus basically all offensive threats are insane. So, talked to my buddy Ant, and he built a team with Choice Band Melmetal and Choice Band Dragonite. Obviously, Magnezone Feeny were kind of just a given with this, and we even have a really cool Weavile set, which is Life Orb. I know, shocker. But it plays a pretty good role with this team, and I'll probably use this team in the Showdown Live so you guys can see just how well it does. Then again, though, OLT is going on right now, so I'm trying to stick away from OU for a little bit. It's not very fun. But yeah, we're playing EO. Like I said, I'm Choice Band Melmetal. I'm Choice Band Dragonite. This Magnezone is Expert Belt with Iron Defense. It's defensive, but it has Expert Belt, so it can KO Corviknight with the boost. We have defensive fast Landorus, so faster than Excadrill, Life Orb Weavile, and special defensive Feeny with the Whirlpool Nature's Madness. So, Tapu Fini is a good lead versus my opponent because it loses to one Pokemon, which is Slowking, and other than that, it's just really, really strong versus like Dragapult and Volcarona and opposing Feeny. Even getting chip on that is really important too. The way I typically play this game or this team is that I bash with Melmetal, or I just start clicking with Melmetal early, so that way I can later pick up with Dragonite. Another reason why I like Choice Band Dragonite is because Choice Band Ice Punch knocks out defensive Landers and knocks out defensive Garchomp, so I thought it was a really cool Pokemon. Now, if you guys do enjoy this, obviously leave a like, subscribe. I didn't record it live. It was early. Well, it wasn't early. It was 12, but I had no sleep, and I don't like recording early, even though I do it all the time, but I just don't. I like it. Basically, anytime before 2 is early, but I always record early. But yeah, so my Melmetal is cool because with Tapu Fini, I don't have to worry about being burnt by Volcarona's Flame Body. And Choice Band just does so much damage. And when you have Melmetal and you have Magnezone and Corviknight's like in the picture, it forces them to play a specific way. So it's cool because typically I can just Double Iron Bash versus Corviknight twice as they U-turn, sometimes faster, usually faster than my Melmetal, and I get a Double Iron Bash on something else. So I like Tapu Fini here because, again, it matches up well versus 5 out of 6 of my opponent's Pokemon, and I'm going for an endgame Dragonite. I gotta keep Dragonite healthy so I can deal with Volcarona. Magnezone can trap Corviknight, but also eat hits from Dragapult depending on the set. And Weavile always checks Dragapult. It's also just really good here too, but the Fini is definitely a problem. So I start off with my Fini as they start off their Landorus. My ability goes before the Landorus, so I know they're not Choice Scarf, and they should switch. I opt to go for Nature's Madness here because it gets me damage off on anything, right? I didn't have Scald at Whirlpool, so I get 50% off on Slowking. Now, I didn't want to go hard Melmetal or Weavile here on a potential Flamethrower, and I doubted he Sludge Bombed that turn, so I opted to go for Whirlpool. And in theory, I could have actually KO'd Slowking here because I live the Sludge Bomb. I can go for another Nature's Madness and then knock it out with the next move after. But I made this play just so I could switch out to Melmetal now on the Sludge Bomb because he's trapped. And this basically takes the Future Sight after. So right here, turn 4, I could have went for Thunder Punch or Ice Punch. I think both were fine this turn, but I opted for Double Iron Bash because, like I said, my game plan has to do with Dragonite. So forcing in Corviknight and because Misty Terrain still had more turns, I just wanted the damage. It does a lot to Corviknight anyway. As you can see right now, I get the Choice Band Double Iron Bash up. Look how much I'm doing. I do 41% to a Corviknight. Granted, I do take the Future Sight. Now, because you do have Magnezone, and I'm going to be pausing throughout. I'll leave the replay down below, but I do encourage you to watch because you get my thought process, and then there's a few things after the game as well, because I talked with EO about a few things as well, which were pretty cool. So I wanted you to be able to, because he had some really heat sets as well. Like I have Choice Band Dragonite, but you'll see what his Dragapult is. And yeah, so my thought process here is they're not gonna roost because if I go Magnezone, Corviknight's trapped for nothing. I know they're physically defensive based on the fact that I did that little. And basically, if I click Double Iron Bash again and they go Volcarona, I get to find out if they're bulky or not. Because max HP Volcarona takes like 76 to 90%. It's some crazy thing with Choice Band Melmetal. So I went for another Double Iron Bash. As they do stay in, and it turns out they're slower than me. I am running quite a bit of speed on this Melmetal, but it turns out they're slower than me, so I do have a chance to flinch them right here. But which obviously would have been amazing. But I went for this play because, again, it opens up Dragonite, it opens up Weavile, and it opens up Landorus's Earthquake a lot better. So, as you can see, they do break through and they manage to U-turn out, and they bring out their Landorus. However, I have my own Landorus, so my own Landorus's role in this team is basically to always defog and to always get a Toxic on opposing Landorus. So they go for knockoff here. I just opt to Toxic. I don't care if they go Corviknight because I can U-turn after and just get in Magnezone as well as they get up their Stealth Rock. And now I defog on the Corviknight coming in. So because U-turn was very obvious and positionally, if I go Magnezone, it has bad positioning versus Volcarona, potentially Dragapult, even Slowking, basically everything. I opt to go Tapu Fini here because it resets the Misty Terrain, which obviously benefits me, and it also gets good momentum on the U-turn. So they end up bringing out Slowking. Once again, I make the play that I don't expect them to want to go for the Sludge Bomb immediately, especially because Melmetal is so low. So I make that play and go for the Nature's Madness as they go for the Future Sight. They make a really nice double here into Volcarona. I almost stayed in and went for another Nature's Madness, I'm going to be honest, but I went Melmetal there just trying to catch them on the same thing. And at this point, I sack my Melmetal because Future Sight's going to come out, and this gives me a free Dragonite. So, like I mentioned before, one of the pros of Dragonite is that it knocks out defensive Landers with Ice Punch at -1. Especially, it's a roll to knock it out, but with Toxic, it's basically guaranteed. So, and because Corviknight's at 14%, and obviously if I'm Dragon Dance, this is also a problem for them as well, I decide that I can... I decided to throw off an Ice Punch is what I'm saying. He goes Landorus, I bop it. That's what I'm trying to lead towards. But yeah, he goes Landorus here, I bop it, which means no Stealth Rock. I still KO Corviknight at this percentage, and it's just really good because now Earthquake is looking more and more threatening for my Landorus. So now they bring out their Dragapult. I have one play, which is to go Tapu Fini here, and this is where they reveal a really cool set. Their Infestation. So I'm like, okay, this is really cool. What are you, like Infestation Dragon Dance or Infestation like what Thunderbolt type of thing? They end up going for Phantom Force, which is so sick because they get 2 turns of damage off on me. As again, I go for Nature's Madness because this couldn't kill me in one hit. And if I got any chip off on Dragapult, Weavile killed it. So I just went for that because it hits everything, including their own Fini and everything. As they do go for the Phantom Force. And, you know, this is really, really, really cool. 1 second, I'm just going to pause. I hear Marlene. Sorry about that. So this is a sick set. Like, I even complimented him on it. And I don't think this was avoidable either. I always went Fini anyway at Spadef, so if it was Specs, it made sense anyway. And Magnezone's important too because Magnezone eats a hit from Fini at the end and I can just do some massive damage with Thunderbolt. So I wasn't going zone, even with Corviknight being at 14%. So they do a lot to me, I do a lot to them, but now they're in range of Weavile and Earthquake is looking even better. And obviously I'm going to compliment them on their play. I technically here, no, I couldn't do anything because they had the Infestation. I was just thinking if there was any other plays I could have made right now. But yeah, so they knocked me out. I opt to go out to Landorus for one reason. I live every hit, and if I KO Dragapult, then my Dragonite looks stupid good. And knowing that EO should expect this, I go for U-turn. No, U-turn never killed Dragapult. It only did 16 max. But I went for U-turn here because assuming that EO would try and get the Corviknight in and to just keep up momentum and get in Magnezone and get more, I basically didn't want him to be up for me. As you can see, I have 4 Pokemon, he has 5. So I made this play. It did take a little bit of damage on me, but I can bring out Magnezone now and I get a free Thunderbolt off. So I KO the Corviknight. Volcarona comes out. I so desperately wanted to click double Thunderbolt here, but now knowing that they're physical Dragapult, it didn't matter. I didn't have to make that play because I have the calc right here. Yep. So the max they can do to my my Magnezone is 37 to 44%. So I can take a Dragon Darts from a physical one into a Phantom Force. So basically I make the safest play, which is going out into Dragonite now as they double out to Dragapult. Good play on my opponent's part. But like I said, it didn't matter because I can take this hit into a Moonblast from Scarfini. So that's why I was keeping my Magnezone healthy. So I go out to Magnezone now because I expect Dragon Darts. Yep. And it does the same role I thought, adamant damage, as it goes for Phantom Force. I guess technically I could have went for Iron Defense here, but like I said, I didn't want them going at Volcarona because they could have U-turned out to Volcarona. The other play was maybe doubling the Weavile, but like I said, I take this into this, and I take Feeney's hit after. So they go for Phantom Force, and he gets a crit. Really, really unfortunate, because now I'm in range of Moonblast from Feeney. As I go for Flash Cannon there, it didn't matter what I clicked, right? It didn't. At that point, it didn't really matter what I clicked. Thunderbolt would have KO'd anyway. So Volcarona comes out. I opt to go Dragonite because I want to keep my sacks for Feeney. But it does hurt me because now that Magnezone doesn't take the hit as they go for Flamethrower. And I could go for Banded Dual Wing Beat, and obviously it's Smack Volcarona, but I'm a little bit paranoid about being burnt. And the Slowking sack made more sense, so I thought Earthquake was absolutely fine here. Because if this is Calm Mind Feeney, then Earthquake into Dual Wing Beat into Knockoff should be enough for it anyway. Because it can't like drain it. Plus I can Defog and Toxic it too. And if it's Scarf Feeney, Landorus always lives a Moonblast at 53%. So I go for Earthquake there as Feeney comes out. I'm forced to sack my Magnezone, which was not a play that I wanted to make, but I had to because it dies to Moonblast at that point. And I bring out my Landorus and I go for Earthquake. So Earthquake is free because it gets the damage on top of Feeney for Dragonite, ideally into Weavile. So they know that, so they end up going out into their Volcarona, and I do 51%. Now, I believe this is really defensive. This is a very defensive Volcarona. So if I get the same roll, I think it's a guaranteed win. Is it? I'm not sure. But if I get the same roll, basically Volcarona dies, and they're forced to go back at top of Feeney Moonblast. Moonblast doesn't KO Landorus, and I get to find out like just how bulky of a Feeney this is. But I go for another Earthquake here because I am faster, and I get the 48, which means they do put me down to the point where Tapu Fini can Moonblast and knock me out. Now, again, at this point, I'm not sure what Tapu Fini they were, and I'm going to talk a little bit about these plays here. So, on offensive Scarf Fini, Earthquake into Extreme Speed is a KO. Yeah, Earthquake into Extreme Speed is a KO on offensive Scarf Fini. And basically I click Earthquake here because I did that, or I calc that. But they're defensive. So what I should have done here was a dual Wing Beat. But I'll tell you why it didn't matter in a couple minutes. The hell, it's only been 4 minutes into... Oh, this is part 2. Like, well, how's it only been 4 minutes? I feel like I've been talking forever. So I go for Earthquake here. As you see, I do 44%. Now, I did have Extreme Speed, and I'll talk about that in a second. I go Weavile so I can switch up moves, obviously. And my Weavile does end up tanking this, so I know that they're actually... I mean, I already know by the Earthquake that they're defensive, but I know they don't have any special attack investment because I did 93. Weavile should die to max special attack. So I get a little Ice Shard chip here so I can use Extreme Speed after. And I bring out Dragonite and I go for E-Speed. It fails to pick up the KO and I lose. So it might look like... I definitely Dual Wing Beat was my play. I'm not going to deny that. I should have Dual Wing Beated, but it didn't... I actually got like max on that Extreme Speed roll too, which is crazy. I'm going to tell you why it didn't matter. So first off, I'm going to debunk the... because Smog Tours was basically saying, so I went to talk to you because I felt bad that I threw, basically, I choked. Because I was like, oh, okay, I do a Wing Beat and I won. So I actually asked EO, and I'll just read what I said, because I wanted to know some information. So I want to explain to my subs that I choked because I was scared to do a Wing Beat missing, though I obviously didn't account for Bulky Fini, but I also want to show that E-Speed twice in a knock didn't win either like Smog Tours was thinking. So basically after I read the chat on Smog Tours and people were like, he choked, all he had to do was Extreme Speed twice into Weavile's knockoff and win. That never killed, okay, ever. I already know that without even asking EO, but... the calc shows you have to have someone like max HP, 76 defense, or some mix of that to take what you did from Ice Shard. Because I did 10%, right? On max HP Fini, it can only take 11% minimum. So I did 10%, which means that that means it has defense EVs. Do you mind showing the bulk? I understand that we're still fighting teams in tour, but can you do that? So I basically just want to know just for peace of mind, but also just see, okay, what could I have done better? This and this. Because I mean, it was my first tournament game in a minute. I reviewed my, EO replied, I reveal my spread talking to Finch, so I don't mind. I do random stuff with spreads anyway, so I pushed him what I said here because the message didn't go through. So I don't, anything. Basically, it was 248, 104 defense. I think I agree with you, though, and I told Finch that there was no way to think of independent spreads. I think, there's no way to win independent spreads, I think. So, basically, just to show you, this is his EV spread. Earthquake, I did damn near max, right? I got 44% off. So, if I... Extreme Speed rolled twice, which is 37 plus 37. I don't know why people thought that H Speed twice was the play at all, but maybe because Earthquake did 44, so they thought it was different. But if I did 37 plus 37, that only does 74, and if I get the 10% off from, if I do the 10% off from, what's it called, from the sale, if I do the 10% off from the Ice Shard, it still obviously doesn't win, so that's 74, right, 37 plus 37, so that's if I get absolute max. And then knockoff does 22 to 27. So even with that, So this is assuming a knockoff, by the way. It's Scarfini, so it's still faster than me because I'm Adamant Weavile, not Jolly. If I was Jolly, I would be faster, but then same thing. I take Life Orb hit, so it doesn't matter. So I would need 2 absolute max extreme speeds into a damn near max knockoff in order to kill from that point. So obviously, that was that. And then that turn about the zone hitters, yeah, people, at least I wouldn't have chat saying choke, choke, choke. It was just me, like, talking with him a little bit. He's like, yeah, it sucks when people develop first impression. I don't get the full picture later on. Yeah. And he said I had him on the ropes, whatever. So this basically means that even if I do a wing beat, because I want to show you guys the calc. So this is his set. Again, me rolling absolute max with Earthquake just, like, threw me off. Or damn near max. I did 44, and it's 46 is max. So let's say I got the average roll of, and again, I want to explain this because this is also stuff to learn on, which is why I'm doing it. I already know I lost, and I know how I wouldn't have lost either, and we'll go back as well, because even if I made the correct swing sequence, which is dual wing beat into Weavile, into Ice Shard, into Extreme Speed, there was a good chance of loss. So the average roll of 47 to 56 is, what is that, 51, I believe? Because the 47.8 doesn't matter. It's literally just the 47 plus 56. So, and divided by 2. Yeah, let me see. Divided by 2. Yeah, 51.5. So 51 is the average roll. So if I got 51 on that one, and then I got a max extreme speed, which is 37%. So 51 plus 37. That's 88.5%, which is rounds down to 88. And then I got 10% on Weavile, which means I did 98%, which means I didn't kill. I didn't have rocks on Lando, by the way, for those wondering. Like, oh, if you got up rocks. Yeah, I didn't have rocks. The other thing is, if I got a max roll on dual wing beat, which is 56, and then I get a mid roll on extreme speed, which is, or the absolute middle roll, which is 34, then that's like the only way I can win. So basically, I would have to get a max roll on dual wing beat here, which is 56%, and then above a 34% in order to win with Ice Shard at the end. So because my E speed already did 44, because my Ice Shard did 10 as well, just to show you, like I'll show you. Which is funny because I actually got a mid roll on Ice Shard as well. It would have done 9 to 11, but yeah, and it would also come down to how I got Ice Shard too. Because if I didn't get the right art, if I didn't get the 10% Ice Shard roll, it didn't matter, right? All that stuff, none of those calcs matter. So I would need absolute max with dual wing beat and damn near max with this, and then I would need a higher roll with Weavile to win as well. So because even if I got like 56 and 33, or if I got 2 average rolls, I never killed. So yeah, just from that position, even dual wing beat was not. It had a higher chance of winning than Earthquake, but obviously I didn't know that he was running bold max H, 248 HP, 104 defense. Though it makes sense because his team is weaker to Urshifu, but even this is more than usually defensive Fini runs. So another way I could have won was outside of that. Preserving Melmetal was something I could have done, but I stand by those plays because I kept Corviknight low the entire time, allowing Dragonite to pick off multiple Pokemon, right? Dragonite was MVP. Another way I could have won was, let me find it real quick. My Magnezone not being crit. If my Magnezone wasn't crit, my It Lives Moonblast, which does 19 to 22%. Even if there was like max special attack, which I know there weren't, but just to say, they did 28%. I would live that outside of the crit, and then Thunderbolt is 81 and 96, which means Extreme Speed just wins. So that was one way. Obviously, my Magnezone not getting crit. The other way I won as well was if I got the roll on Volcarona, and versus, this is not Volcarona. Is that Volcarona? So his Volcarona spread was, he had 280. It was like this, Volcarona. So he had bulky. He had, I believe, 283 speed. And I got this from Finch. So he had 88 that, and the rest was what like it was like, was that right? Did I put too many numbers there? I feel like I put too many numbers there. I think that's wrong. Let me just do this real quick. So it was a 248 plus 88. Yep, minus 510. Yeah, it was 174. Okay, so 174 defense. So my Landorus' Earthquake did 45 to 51. So because I got the 51 on the first one, and him being at 49. With this, I had a 56% chance to OHKO Earthquake after the second one. So overall, the odds were in his favor, but after I got that first roll, the odds were in my favor, just slightly. So basically, if I got this roll here, Fini could not kill me with Moonblast, and then that. So the only play I regret is not dual wing beating with Dragonite, but at the end of the day, I most likely still would have lost unless I rolled 2 max rolls between 3 things. So yeah. Overall, it was still a good game. It sucks that I wasn't able to win, obviously, as well. But I'm also sad that, like, because I feel like I played it well too. Because even if you can question the Melmetal early plays, but I don't think, I think it's hard to say that those are bad plays when it caused me to be able to kill Landorus and keep Corviknight low versus, you know, a Weavile Dragonite Melmetal Landorus team, right? I feel like that's objectively, like, wrong to say that that was a wrong play. But yeah, but if I obviously kept Melmetal healthy, then it could have helped me out in this situation. But yeah, it's unfortunate because we needed this win in order to keep going versus the what's it called? To keep going to finals. And unfortunately, my friend Insult was pretty badly lucked in his game too. So we ended up losing in semis, which I'm obviously a part of as well. So I felt a little bit bad, but I also think that, like I said, even if I made this play, it would have made a difference. But this is something just to learn on. I'll show this team in a Showdown live because it's freaking amazing in my opinion. I love this team. It's really, really fun to ladder with. And yeah, so thank you everybody for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. Again, I just want to go over because, one, it helps me learn and helps me get better, but also, two, I want to show my thought process and how things could have changed as well, because like I said, Magnezone would have been healthier, so I would have left it around. But anyway, thank you everybody for watching. I think today I'll have a, what is it going up, on Monday? On Monday. It's, okay, so if it's going up on Monday, I'll probably have my thoughts on the tier changes as well going up today, just because this was a shorter video. But okay, yeah, that's it. Goodbye, my friends. Peace.